Well, hello everybody. It is 6:30 on Tuesday, which means it's time for another episode of Tiger Stamp Club Live, where we make great cards. And believe it or not, I have another great card for you tonight. I do. And I see that Jill's here. Hi, Jill. Hi, Denise. Hi, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, were you our last week's winner? I can't remember. No, it was Nancy, but you've won recently, right? Remember that if you comment during tonight's live, you can just say, hi, Manny. So Denise and Elizabeth and Jill are already in the drawing. All you have to do is say hi. Your name goes into a drawing for the card that I make tonight. If you share tonight's video onto your timeline or with some crafty friends, then your name will go in twice. You just have to comment that you shared, because Facebook doesn't always let me see who shared due to privacy settings. So, that is that. And you could win tonight's card. And I want to let you know, tonight's a good one. There is just a little bit of Stampin' Up! News. First of all, they announced yesterday that beginning tomorrow, the 23rd, the 24th, and the 25th, it's free shipping for all orders $75 or more. So if you have been waiting to place an order, like me, I have some things in my basket, my shopping basket, that have been waiting there. Of course, I do have an order on the way, so I could have waited. And then after I did that order, I was like, oh, I need this and this and this. But so at least I'm going to get free shipping on that if I get it up to $75 or more. But it is a good deal. It saves you 11% here in the US, and that adds up. So remember, tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, 3 days only, free shipping. They also announced that if you are a current, oh, that's my order sheet. If you are a current Paper Pumpkin subscriber, and I know some of you out there are, that starting, I think it's tomorrow and Thursday, you can get up to 75% off of refills, past kits, and add-ons. So you just need to go to the Paper Pumpkin section of the online store and check to see what is available that is on sale. Refills, past kits, and add-ons. Plus, they're doing this. It's good for tomorrow and the next day. You also get free shipping if it's on an order that is at least $75 or more. So that is a good deal. All right, that is all the Stampin' Up! News that I know of. Let me just check here and see who all's here. I see Rhonda Tigert is here. Gloria, hi Gloria. Susan Finn is here. Hi Susan. Linda's here. Yay. Well, you guys have tuned in at the right time, because I have got a card for you. You guys all know that I'm all about layers and die cuts and all the stuff. So let's take a look at the card we're going to create tonight. Here it is. And I'm just looking to make sure that I'm on camera. Here, let me bring it down just a little bit. There you go. Look at all those die cuts, all those layers, all that texture. Now, this is my kind of card. It's what I really, really like to do. Of course, I did not design this. This is by my old friend Bertien Videveld. I could be totally mispronouncing her name. She's from the Netherlands. She's one of their artisan designers, or no, she's a past artisan designer, and you can really tell. And I think she was participating with this card in a color challenge that uses these pastel colors. And I just think it's so pretty. And also, if you change the color palette, you would get a totally different looking card. So yeah, isn't this pretty? Hey, Diana. So that is the card that's going to be in the running for tonight. I have to tell you that I had a fleeting moment of thinking that I would do 2 cards last time because I had skipped a week, and I thought, oh, I'll just do 2 cards and make up for it. Well, that did not work out. I had texted Gloria and I said, hey, I'm going to do 2 cards. And then like right after, or the morning of last Tuesday when I was getting ready to go live, I texted her and I said, what was I thinking? I'm not going to do 2 cards. I'm not. And so but I had everything die cut and ready for last week. And so anyway, as I was getting ready for tonight, I could not find all my die cuts. I could not find everything. So I was in a panic. I was like, oh, okay, I'll just die cut everything again. And but luckily I did find it before coming live here to you tonight. But for a second there, I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? All right, we're going to start with a card base of soft seafoam that is 8 by 5.5 and score at 4. I will post, and if you're on my email list, I will send out a recipe with all the materials that we're using tonight and all the measurements. Speaking of materials, I did not even show you what we're going to be using tonight. So let me pause and show you some of the new items that we're using on tonight's card. This set is called Pretty Florals. And the stamp set is photopolymer. It is also reversible. The stamps are reversible, so you can stamp the detailed in one color, and then you turn the stamp over, and stamp the fill-in color in a different color. Or you can stamp off and get a lighter color. Anyway, 2-step stamping set. And then look at all these dies that coordinate with it. And what I like about these dies is several of them are designed to cut out more than one piece. So like the flowers that we're using, see those yellow pretty flowers? That is all one pass through the machine using this die. It cuts out 3 pieces. This die cuts out 3 pieces. This die cuts out 3 pieces. So it's really, really a great set. Again, that's brand new in the new catalog, I believe. Yes, I think so. I think it's in the new catalog. Actually, I'm always confused nowadays of what's in the catalog and what is an online exclusive. So anyway, it's brand new. I do know that. Also brand new is this one called Gallery Blooms. I think it's photopolymer too. I haven't used it yet. I haven't used the stamps yet, but we're going to use the dies. But great bold images, floral images, and then these dies here. Let me show you this one back here because we're going to use this one to create our background with. And it is just, it's a frame, and it actually cuts out 2 pieces. Actually, it cuts out 3 pieces. And we're going to use this to create our background. Again, so that is called Gallery Blooms. And then this is an online exclusive that's been out for a while, and I'm using this for my sentiment. Here it says, you have a happy birthday, or you a happy birthday, because this big stamp set here says wishing you a happy birthday. But I only inked up the happy birthday part and stamped and die cut that out. All right, so I'm being a little fancy there. This embossing folder has been out for a while, exposed brick, and we're going to be using it. And then to die cut out the sentiment, I used this long stitched die. This is from Textured Notes, a brand new set. It also has a stamp set. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Here we go. Here is the coordinating stamp set that goes with it. Textured Notes, brand new. But I die cut out, I stamped my sentiment, then die cut it out, and I made this one a little closer to the stamping, and then I ran it through again and cinched it up, and because I didn't want a really long one for this particular card. So I just ran it through twice and shortened that up. All right. That's what we're using. Let's take another look at this beautiful card. Here's what we're going to be creating. And I think this is the one I'm going to be using for my wife's birthday, which is next month. Because it has all the stuff. Okay, so now back to what I was saying earlier. We're going to start with a card base out of soft seafoam. Oh, I didn't talk about the DSP. So I believe this DSP is not current, retired. It's one of the 6x6 color family. So this is the Brights. You know, each year when a new catalog comes out, they do 6x6 sets for each of the color families and the in colors. And so this is from a past Brights set. It really, anything that's granny apple green with a pattern on it will work for tonight. And then this DSP is called Botanical Textures. Let's take just a quick look at that before we get started with our card. So it's black and white patterns, which I think are amazing. I love black and white. They can lend themselves to so many occasions, so many designs, because, you know, basically it's a neutral, and you can put any color that you want on top of here, and it works. But some amazing designs, and we're using a strip of this pattern right here. All right, let's get busy. All right, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a strip of this DSP and this DSP, and we're going to adhere it to our card front. And there's just going to be a tiny bit border around it. And so I'm just making sure that it's cut right before I start trying to glue it down. And I think I'm going to use this one. And so if I get this piece lined up correctly, the second piece should be just fine. So I am going to put this on, paying attention to the border. That looks pretty good. Let's see how well I did. If I messed up, it's okay, because I can overlap if I need to. And I'm just checking it out here. It's actually pretty good. So I'm going to go with it and glue this up. I got gloobers everywhere. Anybody get gloobers as you're working? I always laugh at myself when I watch back my videos because, you know, I watch these women demonstrators who are like they're dressed to the nines and their fingernails are done. Their hair looks good if they're on camera. And you know, I am just not that person. I played pickleball this morning, and so you can just imagine what I look like. But I don't let it stop me from making a very pretty card. All right, now we're going to anchor all those layers on top of this piece right here. And this is just going to go in the center. And again, we're not worried too much about the measurements because I'm going to be posting that. Tomorrow on our Facebook group page, which is right here where you're watching. And let's see. And if you're on my email list, I will be emailing that out as well. So if you want to recreate this, you can. All right, so now I'm just trying to center this as best I can. There we go. And so you can see in the background, not much of that DSP is really showing. But it's like my theory of what your mom always told you is wear good underwear in case you're in an accident, you know. This is good underwear. All this stuff underneath here. We know it looks good. So let's say something happened in the atmosphere and all your pieces fell off. At least it would still look good under there. I got a little smudge there that I'm not worried about because, again, it's going to all be covered up. Now, I hope all my pieces are here. We will make it work. But I'm going to die cut to show you how this piece worked. And so I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to grab my cut and emboss machine. I'm going to try not to mess this pile of goodies up. Yes, everything's falling. All right, so now I'm going to take a piece of soft seafoam. Make sure that's on there well. And I'm going to run this through and then we'll take a look at what it looks like. I'm going to set this over here because I'm going to use it again here. So again, I told you this die creates 3 pieces. Throw that away. You get this frame right here, and then you get this frame, that nest, and then the centerpiece, all of which well, I don't think I'm going to use this, but I will be using the other 2. Now, let me show you on my card. I was confused and I embossed the inner piece where Bertian embossed this outer piece. Okay? And so I'm going to go ahead and do the outer piece like she did, and then we can compare and see what we like best. All right. So the exposed brick embossing folder is a 3D embossing folder. So the sandwich for that is your base and your paper inside the embossing folder. You always put your fold to go in first. And then number 4 plate, the gray plate. I can put this up. We're done with it. Set these aside. And let's take a look at this. I don't know if you can see all that texture, but it is quite pretty. All right. Now I'm going to glue this. Oh, I forgot. I did cut this down. All right, so now I probably need to know. I did cut this down so it would fit on the card. You know, Birdie and... I'm just looking... Oh, here it is. Birdie's from Scandinavia, so her dimensions of her card are different. And so I'm just going to cut this down. Don't want to do too much because I'm going to have to cut on both sides. And it's a little bit fragile. Hold on. So I'm going to start inside the die cut. Oh no. See, I knew that. I think I can fix it though. Hold on. There we go. Crisis nearly averted. There we go. Now I have to do it again. Just a little bit off this side. I forgot all about this part, or I would have done it ahead of time. I would have went ahead and done it ahead of time. But I really wanted to show you how that die works. Okay. And now I need to take a little bit off this. Oh my goodness, I'm not even, let me scoot down a little bit. Should have looked up sooner. There we go. Just a little. All right, we're going to see how that works because I can't remember exactly the dimensions for that, but let's see how close I got. All right, the sides are good. I need more off the top and the bottom. Oh, that's the wrong. Here we go. All right, cut about that much off the top and we should be good. But I'm kind of glad that I did it this way, because now you know if you want to trim or want to do this card, you do have to do a little doctoring to it just to make it fit our US size card base. All right, let's see how we're doing now. That will work. All right, let's go ahead and put that on. And now this piece will go in the center. Gloobers. There, and now we have a nice little background for all our flowers. All right, let's take a look at our, let me just see if I can see, hold on one sec. All right, good. All right. So I have cut my 3 main flowers using that one die. This is out of Lemon Lolly. And let's build our main flowers because it's really pretty fun how to do it. You have another piece here that is the stem piece. Let me grab it. Again, it is also one die. And, oh, we got to put the little other pieces on before we put our stem on. Oh, please be here. Where are you? There it is. So again, one die cuts out these 3 pieces as well. All right, and then we'll put the stem on and I'll show you how these work together. I think I'm going to use my fine tip glue gun here. So these, anybody know this flower part? I used to know all that. I know there's a stamen, but I know that that is not the stamen. And isn't there something called the pistil? I can't remember. It's been a long time. Okay, I'm going to let that set and then do this one. All right, there are our 3 flowers with their little, whatever that is, at the bottom of the bloom. And now we're going to attach the stems. So I'm going to put just a few little dots on this top stem. And then I'm going to layer it on top of our center flower. And then glue here. There we go. And then glue the 3rd one. And now we have the cutest little arrangement of the prettiest little flowers. And they figured all that out for us, you know, so all we did was die cut the 3 different colors and then layer them together. I like that when that happens. Let me grab some dimensionals. And so I'm going to put a dimensional here. Oh, I don't want to get too close to the top, so hold on. Because I have some pieces that I want to sneak behind that flower. So I'm going to try and get them here towards the bottom. Aren't these flowers cute, Gloria? Denise, think they're pretty? Here we go. Hold on. Just trying to get it straightish. And then I should have put a little dab of glue on the stems. Let me see if I can sneak some in there. There we go. That works. That's a lot lower than I had on my original card. I should have scooted it up. I was a little, so let me just do that because I'm afraid it's not going to look right if I have it down so low. I was looking at my original card and I was looking at this textured layer that we ran through and forgot that I switched them out. So, do a little surgery here. All right, crisis narrowly averted there. now we've got the background foliage pieces. Just going to sort them. You know, Roman was here for Easter, and he wanted to go see that Minecraft movie, and I had promised him the next time I saw him that I would take him to go get a toy, so he talked me into going to the Lego store, and of course we bought Minecraft Lego set, and so that's what I did all weekend mostly. All right, there are our die cuts. I've got 3 sets of white leaves, 3 sets of white, I don't know what that is, 2 pink and 2 soft seafoam, and then a couple of green leaves. And so I'm just going to begin building the background, and I believe I started with these. And I think I need to trim off a little bit of this stem. Because this is going to go right about there. Got a hanging Chad. Here we go. It's gonna go right about here. Do some leaves. I really like tone-on-tone cards as well, so having these leaves and these fancy flowers be the same color as the card base and the framing elements work so well. All right, and now I'm going to layer in a white one of these. Does anybody know what this is called? I guess we would need the, yeah, that's gonna need to be trimmed. We'd need the stamp set and everything to be, so that's gonna go there. And then a pink one. Trying to quickly get out those little pieces. What did I do with, here it is. There we go. So really having these little pieces, just a matter of layering them in wherever you need them to go. And my wife and I knew nothing about Minecraft. Here, I'm gonna, before I put this on, I'm going to sneak, yeah, need to trim it. Sneak a leaf in there. And then we're going to put this in here. Okay, that's where we are right now. Let me see, what am I missing? A couple more leaves here. You know, I look at some of these designers, some of their work, and when I'm trying to decide what to do, and I think, oh, that's not that much, and then I start to trying to recreate it, and I'm like, ooh, I didn't notice that piece before. Oh, and look, there's 3 of those, and I didn't even see that. There we go. All right, I think that's, I need a leaf there, it says, I think. So I'm going to trim this off a little bit. See if I can sneak it under something that I've already die cut. Already stuck. I didn't even put glue on that. I just stuck it down. All right, I think that's basically it. I may have an extra leaf. Oh, I see. Hold on. See if I can get take your pick tool and get it underneath there more. There we go. It probably would not have been a big deal to miss that piece, but that's what it is. All right, and so now I'm going to put my happy birthday here across the bottom. I think I'm going to use mini. As in small, not as in a lot. And I think I can get away with putting one in the center here because it's going to go across the flatter part of the card. Here we go. Happy birthday. Now we have 3 little flowers that we're going to add. Now this is out of Bubble Bath. The pink is Bubble Bath. The yellow is lemon lolly. And the green is soft sea foam. All right, one other thing that we need to add, and that is our dots. And I'm using the rainbow adhesive back dots on today's card. So let me just clean up this mess that I've got going on. And I'm going to take these lighter pink dots here. Might as well use this, it's right here. And I'm going to put one right here. Put one right here. And put a small one down here. And there is tonight's beautiful birthday card using a few new items. Let me, my Chad fell there. Again, that we are using the Gallery Blooms dies. So there's that piece right there. And anybody know what that is? Is that like one of those, oh, I can't even remember, that's not a dandelion, is it? But anyway, we use that die. And then mostly it's these Pretty Florals. I didn't use the stamps, but I used several of these dies to create our floral pieces. And you'll have to tell me which one you like best. If you win tonight's card, you can tell me, oh, I like the one with the embossing on the inside, or the one with the embossing around the outside. So that's it. That is our beautiful card for tonight. It was great crafting with you. And I hope that sometime this week you will be able to create a card, put all the stuff on it, all the stuff that you want to, and send it to somebody and make their day. Oh, I see that since I've been talking, Barbara Milligan's here, Kelly's here, Carol Fagans is here, Melissa Arnold is here. Yay. I'm so glad you guys tuned in. Your name's going to go into a drawing for one of these cards. All right, that's it. I will see you next time with another great card. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Bye.